So today we're going to be, our main focus is to fish for speckled trout. We'll be using the matrix shad in a multitude of different colors, and we're just going to work over that southern area of the trestle, stay out of the rough waves, and see what we can do. So stay tuned. Alright, well we just pulled up around fire break number 3. We started on the pollens at a number in the 60s to 70 mark. And we just crossed the Bumpy Lake Pontchartrain and Captain Jonathan's 24-foot skeeter, and we're with the whole dockside crew today. Got a nice light incoming tide. We're just going to start it off with the trolling motor, just easing down the bridge to land, and we're just going to keep making this lap over and over, as this is the calmest area for us right now to fish. With the big southeast wind, east wind we got 15 to 20 right now. We're just going to tuck in on the west side of the trestle and work this area over. So let's see what happens. All right, as you can see, Connor and Captain Chris just pulled another nice 2 trout off of pile number 63. We just started, already got 3 fish in the boat. They're just using the Midnight Mullet matrix shad on a 3/8 ounce jig head. And it looks like this day, on this afternoon, is gonna be a really good bite, and the fish are jumping in the boat.
Hammer time. He'll stretch. Another thing you want to keep in mind, that's another quality fish. Another thing you want to keep in mind when fishing the bridges, you kind of want to vary a few things. We started at fire break 3. We made our first pass, we probably picked up 10 or 15 fish. A lot of times those fish will be right up against the pilings, right? But if you make a pass, and you make a pass and halfway through the pass, or maybe 3/4 of the way through the pass, and you haven't set the hook, right? Try fishing a little bit farther out. They may be 10 feet off the piling, right? Or kind of pattern that first bite is what you want to do. Is what I'm saying is everything is memory. So when you feel the first bite, you catch the first bite, memorize where you caught that fish from, how you made the cast, and so forth and so on. Because when the lure gets back into that same spot, you can almost expect the bite.
Another nice little trout. Little school trout, 13-inch fish here. Right now I'm using the lemon head matrix shad on a 3/8 ounce jig head. Just working that lure right off the bottom. Got a lot of trout out here on the trestle right now. All shapes and sizes.
Okay, fish on. Fish on. Nice red. Schooly red. All right. Like we were saying earlier, the water's a little stained down here, and it's a little bit shallow. Fish on. Jonathan has one too. Look at that. With that east wind, it's pushing that tide in like it is. These fish kind of get into a frenzy, especially on a day like today when the wind's high. They don't get that much pressure on them. They don't see that many lures. So when you can pick a day like this is a day that you actually want to take off work. I know we'll probably get in trouble for saying this from a lot of wives. And their husbands will probably take off work and they'll probably get in trouble for it. But this is the day, or a day like today, you want to take off work and get out here because the fish don't see that much pressure, especially from lures. So you could probably go out there and pop 50 trout, you know, a couple of reds, and mess a flounder with no problem. See if we can get another one in the boat. All right, we're fishing the corner of the trestle right now, and we're throwing the matrix shad. We actually got down here with the wind, the east wind, kind of churned the water up a little bit, got it a little stained, so we went to the lemon drop to give it a little more color. You always want to try to make, try to get an advantage when fishing any type of water. Jonathan has one on. When fishing any type of water, it's a good fish. And the reason the lake is so good right now between all three bridges, including the causeway, is that with the spillway, it did mess up the fishing for quite a while, but what it did was it brought so much nutrients and bait into the lake. What you're gonna find in the next couple of years, after every spillway, it always happens, spillway opening it happens, is that the fishing tends to get better and better. You can look for a great spring. I mean, the fall is great right now. I mean, even though the wind's blowing, you can still catch fish right now, but you can look for a great spring. So, keep checking out the videos. Make sure you stop over at DockSide Bag and Tackle. Check us out on the web, DockSideLA.com. We got a new line of matrix shads that's gonna be coming out in the spring also. Make sure you get the scoop on those. All right, it's another nice quality fish. 15 inches, inch trout, perfect eating size trout. He actually inhaled that lure. That goes to show you how hungry these fish are. They're not, really nitpicking it like a lot of them will do. I mean, they're actually hungry right now. They're feeding up for that fall bite. I mean, that fall run, that winter. They're trying to get fat for the winter. We have a full moon approaching right now. So actually now is that perfect time. You want to get out there, and there he is, and boat 50 like this with the full moon approaching. Now is the time. Look how fat that trout is. You can tell how healthy he is. Just look at him. It's another beautiful trout, another one for the box. Good fish here. Oh! That was a good fish, brother. He thumped it. That was a good fish. That was a good fish there. All right, I'm going to give you a quick presentation as to what we're doing and how we're fishing the bridge, because I mean, a lot of people will come out, they kind of strike out when jigging the bridge. The most important thing when fishing the bridges is to get that lure to the bottom. You got to be able to feel the bottom. We're using right now a 3/8 ounce jig head, with the matrix shad. Some people may be more comfortable with a 1/2 ounce so they can feel the bottom. Either one of them will work, depending on how fast the water's running. That's going to determine whether you're going to throw a 3/8 ounce or a 1/2 ounce. So basically what we're doing here is we're making the cast to the piling, right up against it, giving it a little bit of slack, letting the line spool letting the spool open and letting it go. Now me, myself personally, I keep my string rides my finger. I mean, I've been doing that all my life. So as it's falling, if I tend to get a bite, I can actually feel it through this mono as it's falling. All right, once it gets to the bottom, what I'm doing is giving it, look, that was a bite. I'm actually giving it three good pops, picking it up off the bottom. And basically what the lure is doing is fluttering off the bottom, and with the matrix shad and the big fat paddle tail, as it's falling, that big tail is just falling with it, right? And as I'm doing that, I'm actually reeling in my slack at the same time. So if a strike was to occur, I can automatically just set the hook and not worry about trying to reel in all the slack at one time. So what I'm doing here is just take a look. I'll make this cast. Cast into the piling. Jonathan has a fish on. We're letting it get down to the bottom, count it down, jig up on it 3 times. The whole time keeping my finger on the line to feel that bite. Once I feel the bottom hit again, I make, missed it. Make another 3 jigs, and all it is repetition. That's the most important thing, is the repetition. Yeah. Double up. Look at that. It's another beautiful trout. As we were saying earlier, I mean, it's a beautiful fish. On days like this, when the wind is kind of high, right in the evening time, right before the sun sets, and then you have the full moon approaching, you can go out and pop, right after work. You can go out and pop 50 trout like this, or 25, you can catch your limit and pop some reds and flounder. I mean, that's another beautiful trout for the box. It's like that same breed of fish, 15, 16-inch fish, perfect for the pan, perfect for the cooler. Perfect.
Yep.
See if we can box a few more. All right, we got close to a 4-man limit right now. We're working on it, and it's real close. The sun's setting behind us, so what we're gonna do is try to go ahead and knock out this limit. So next time, we see you on DockSide TV. A couple for the box.